Welcome to Business Outlook, a podcast by the Albuquerque Journal where we focus on 4 revolving themes: real estate, small business, emerging leaders, and technology. If you enjoy our podcasts, please like and subscribe and consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Albuquerque Journal to help us continue to bring you more content like this. You can find this episode and all our podcasts on the Albuquerque Journal website, abqjournal.com, as well as YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. See the show notes for a discount on a digital subscription. Thank you for supporting the Albuquerque Journal, New Mexico's leading local news source. Hi, I'm Ryan Boetel, and welcome back to the Business Outlook podcast from the Albuquerque Journal. Today's podcast is focused on small business, and I'd like to thank our sponsor, C&M. Today's guest is John Groth. He's the president and CEO of Southwest Composite Works, where they manufacture carbon fiber products right here in Albuquerque. Products are used in a wide variety of industries, from aerospace to sports and recreation.
C&M is truly one college with infinite possibilities in tech and data sciences. C&M offers programs where everyone can learn about software, apps, or how to build websites. You can also choose from AI programs and machine learning, the Internet of Things, and so much more. C&M, one college, infinite possibilities, and a proud sponsor of the Albuquerque Journal's Business Outlook.
Hi, welcome back to the Business Outlook podcast. I'm Ryan Boetel. Today's podcast is focused on small business, and my guest today is John Groth. He's the president, CEO, and founder of Southwest Composite Works here in Albuquerque, and it's a carbon fiber manufacturing plant here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. John, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Now, let's start. Just give our listeners a little bit of background about your company and how long you've been in Albuquerque.
We started in New Mexico in '94, so 30 years celebration this year. We started in Moriarty, and we were out there for a few years. We were doing some foundry work for a guy who was operating a metal casting facility out there. We moved into Albuquerque. We've had 3 different locations, started in a rather kind of a garage space for the first few years, and then we purchased our own building and outgrew that building and moved into our current facility here in Albuquerque. So our evolution was kind of me and a couple guys into a little more of a formal company into our current space over by Sandia Labs. And we're 15,000 square feet and ready to manufacture.
And what carbon fiber manufacturing, I mean, just basically explain what type of product that is.
Well, carbon fiber is very much, it's a cloth material, and it's a composite material. Being from from the Southwest, New Mexico, one of the original composites was adobe brick, mud and straw that made, that's a composite. Like trees are really a composite, they're wood and lignin, and that's the composite material, the two that join together to make a stronger unit when they're combined. So the carbon fiber or fiberglass materials are laid up in sheets, and one of the real advantages is you can adjust all the properties of the material to build in any forms and shapes and mold it. And it's, the buzzword is it's 7 times stronger than steel and half the weight of aluminum.
Okay. Because that's what you think carbon fiber, you think strong and light. And you make little components that are used in a wide variety of industries, from aerospace to sports and recreation. Tell us who some of your customers are.
We launched off our business in the backpack market, and we make carbon fiber backpack frames for several small, we say, boutique manufacturers in the Western United States. So these guys are selling, 10 to 20,000 packs a year, really primarily for the big game hunting markets. The with the carbon, so they're designing the frames. We work with them. We do some development. We tweak these laminates to get just the right flex, just the right strength they're looking for, and then we mold these frames that are, basically the shape similar to the shape of your back, and really, anything that uses less energy when it's lighter.
Yeah.
And that's where the carbon really, really performs well.
Yeah. Okay. And why would you want a carbon fiber backpack?
It's lighter.
It's lighter.
Stronger,
okay. Yeah. Lighter and stronger. Yeah.
Right. So if you were just going to use an aluminum sheet rather than a carbon fiber sheet, the aluminum, once it gets bent, it stays bent. And, the carbon is a spring. It's very tough. So it always goes back to its original form.
Yeah. And was it cycling that kind of got you into that sports and recreation market side of the carbon fiber world?
When we started as a job shop manufacturer, before we really rebranded our company, we were making molds for carbon fiber manufacturers. We were a tooling company, really our core business, and has been the whole 30 years. So after a while, we decided that, that we were making so much of this tooling that it would be a good direction to go into the manufacturing. So the bicycles were really the best way for us to get started. And we got launched off with a company out of Little Rock, Arkansas, who were owned by the Walmart grandsons who were building their own bike brand in Arkansas. And we machined 100 mold sets for them to launch their product. So we learned a lot about composites and learned more about tool making.
Yeah. And explain, because in your company, some of the work you will do is for aerospace companies, automotive companies, medical companies, and then the sports and recreation, the backpacks, the bicycles. It seems like such a wide variety of industries and products that they would need. What's the common theme with all those products?
Quality.
Okay.
Quality.
So, for example, what's an aerospace product that your company's made?
We are aligned with a aerospace manufacturer here in Albuquerque, and we are doing some non-flight critical components for their heating and cooling systems that go into the airplanes and into regular Boeing airplane. So these are a special fiberglass material that goes into that ducting work. So very high quality, and it's a composite molded component that we're making for them in the robotic market, where that would come into play if you have a robotic arm that maybe be working over at the Amazon facility here in New Mexico, and that arm is constantly moving. Well, that arm can weigh less.
More efficient.
You'll have more duty life out of that piece of equipment.
Yeah.
In automotive, it's purely, lightweight. Many of those automotive components are all about the cosmetic look. It's perceived, black luxury. It's carbon's got a cool look to it. And the automotive market has really moved into that as well. So they're using both attributes of the carbon, the look, the strength, and the weight, all put together. So it's, some of it's purely structural and some of it is cosmetic.
Okay. Do you know in the past 30 years, how many different products has your company manufactured?
It's right around, about 600, I don't know, I have the numbers, about 3,000.
Okay. So just a lot of things. I mean, are most of your customers, are they just national companies, or do you have local contracts with local business?
We have local contracts. Some of our large customers right now are local. We do work with Sandia Labs, and they're awesome to work with. We do some very cool custom carbon composite machining and work with them. We would like to do more work in New Mexico, absolutely. Align ourselves with innovative companies, growth-minded companies, people that are moving into modern materials.
Do you think, I mean, have you ever thought of this, but just hearing the different kind of products that you've been involved in making, how many, is there a lot of products that Southwest Composite Works has made that we as everyday people in Albuquerque probably have interacted with and just don't even know it? I mean, you mentioned working with Amazon on a robotic arm. I mean, you sort of got your hand in a lot of different things that are probably everyday parts of everyday life.
Yeah, for sure, Ryan. We, in the metal casting industry, that is really my formal training. I grew up in Milwaukee, and I'm a journeyman pattern maker.
Okay.
A pattern maker services the metal casting industry. So when I was there, we did a lot of work for the big three automotive manufacturers, a lot of blocks and heads, motor blocks, and pieces like that. And they've always claimed that you are never more than 5 feet away from a metal casting.
Okay.
So likely, like this table base is cast in iron or steel. So in the metal casting business, absolutely. Everything in your car, you got table bases. In the carbon fiber, it hasn't been adapted to that. It's really a specialized product. It has some increased cost, and the market is moving to try to find a way to automate these processes into mass production, but haven't really found it quite yet.
Okay. So you're a journeyman in Wisconsin. How do you end up as an entrepreneur in Albuquerque?
It's really a short story, actually. My wife, my girlfriend at the time, my wife today, we were looking to move out west, and she looked at all the hospitals, and Presbyterian offered her $2,500 to move to New Mexico. We loaded up the truck and moved to Albuquerque. They paid her the $2,500, and she's been working in the same unit there for 32 years.
Okay, really? So you were looking to go out west. Was it just the culture you wanted? The
recreation,
okay,
and culture.
Yeah.
We looked at Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and we didn't want to be cold, and we didn't want to be cowboys. So
you got used to that in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, So when you say recreation, what was that recreation? What are you? Are you skiers, rock climbers?
Rock climbing is my true passion.
Okay.
Has been since I was a young man, and that's really what drove us out here. Skiing, absolutely for sure. Passionate skier. Head up to Taos all the time. Enjoy it up there. Mountain biking, road biking, just good all around weather to allow you to do what you want to do outside.
Do you use carbon fiber composites in rock climbing, skiing? I mean, certainly in mountain biking, there's a lot of carbon fiber mountain bikes.
Yeah. It's the car. It first started like the whole carbon fiber started in aerospace and then in automotive racing, and that's where it really started. And then it really went into cycling. Was one of the original adapters of it. But yeah, I have carbon fiber skis for sure. The light and ski poles have been carbon fiber for a long time, and fishing rods have been carbon fiber for a long time. And my compound hunting bow is carbon fiber. And in rock climbing, yes, it's becoming more adapted, but there's not a lot of gear in rock climbing.
Okay.
And it's what you do does take some abuse, and it's all very safety critical.
Sure.
And they've introduced some carbon fiber into these new camming devices.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah.
They have. There's a company that's now making the cam lobes on the Friends and backcountry equipment that they're making, shovels and things like that. But they're adapting it.
Okay.
But,
and, I wanted to have you on to just because you are a small business owner. How many employees do you have at your company?
we're 15.
15. And you're doing manufacturing, and there's not a ton of manufacturing that happens in New Mexico. Is that correct? That's sort of been my understanding covering business for a while.
That is correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think here the last few years, it's come and gone a little bit. The business has been up and down with the COVID push that we had, but we delivered about 130,000 parts out of our facility here last year. So we're pushing out some pretty good volumes, and we've worked with automation and to some level, and really trying to minimize the touch labor.
Okay.
That kind of touch labor is tough because we have all our offshore competitors.
Okay.
Most of our offshore competitors work for a lot less than we do. So.
Sure, of course. Yeah. So, and just can you describe what your shop looks like to our audience?
It's like an operating room.
It's like an operating room? Okay.
Clean. We've wholly embraced lean manufacturing. So, clean and shine and organize and all that is really, really at the forefront of our business model, which brings in efficiency.
Okay.
So we run about half of the shop is still really our machining entity where we're machining and manufacturing the molds and dies for our carbon fiber components. And the other half of the shop is our composite manufacturing area where we're running heated platen presses, which are large presses that compress the carbon fiber at about 30 tons of pressure. And that's how we're manufacturing those components. And then other components that we're doing in aerospace, they are run through an industrial oven, and they're cured in the oven under vacuum pressure. So we have vacuum pressure that squeezes, consolidates the fiberglass and the carbon fiber. And then we also operate in an autoclave, which is a large pressure vessel that also pressurizes and compacts the carbon fiber.
Okay. But all this carbon fiber, all this heat, all this pressure, and you described it as an operating room. I guess in my mind, I was probably imagining more of like a steel plant or something, but it's not like that at all.
No. Aerospace parts require a level of quality and cleanliness that we strive to maintain.
What kind of talent do you need? Who do you hire?
We've worked through most of the people internally. So we do have some experienced high-level machinist. We do have our composite lead is trained and really trains our other folks, but it's really been really homegrown, right? Because we're the first and only composite manufacturer in New Mexico.
Yeah.
So if we were in Seattle, which is, of course, Boeing and other sailboats and yacht industry, there's a lot of people in that business. And same like San Diego. They're a huge hotbed for composites because they started with in the boating industry. So we've had to train most of the people. There's a few other people that do some composite work in Albuquerque. But again, they are larger corporations that are offering a little more stability, perhaps, than a small entity like Southwest Composites.
Okay, but you've been around for 30 years, so that's some stability.
Yeah.
But I'm just is your average the employee that you hire and then have to train? Do they have a bachelor's degree? Are they like coming with an associate's degree, or will you just take somebody and just build them up from internally?
We build them up internally.
Okay.
Yeah. We're, I think we have 2 or 3 people that have a college education, and one guy's got a philosophy degree, and the other guy's got art degree.
Okay, really? So you're their teacher, and you're just going to give them that career. Do you provide a good career?
I think we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. We provide an exciting work. As a small business, we're nimble and shifting and moving, and we have a level of our production level employees, and they're awesome. They're keeping the engine running, and then we take on innovative products, and we're launching new products and working with innovators and entrepreneurs all the time. So that's an exciting part.
Now, in the economic development world of New Mexico, it seems, there's lots of talk, obviously, about diversifying the state's economy. And some of the professionals who work in that space have, stressed growing New Mexico manufacturing as a way to help diversify the economy. What are the biggest challenges that you faced as just an in-state manufacturer?
I think one of the largest challenges is employment. Mm-hmm. New Mexico doesn't rank very well in, many avenues of education and crime and other
Sure.
problems that most cities face, for sure. So getting and recruiting the people from out of state it is possible, but it's been a challenge. And then, of course, we're up against the lab in town, which really is tough. They're a tough competitor. They consume a lot of the talent in town, and they're aggressively pursuing that talent, which, they're a competitor.
Yeah.
And, here we are. But when they're wholly, a federal entity, we really need to work.
Yeah.
We need to work together.
Sure.
And we'll work with the employees, and get the people. We need to supply them, excellent goods and services, but, that can't be done when our top employees are moving over there.
But you said earlier that Sandia does provide you with business, so you do work for them.
We do.
But then that must be just kind of frustrating as a small business owner, because you're taking people, like you said, most don't have college degrees. You're training them, you're building them up, you're giving them new skills, and then they become sought after by much larger entities.
Yeah, for sure. We do a lot of training, and it's been many folks have commented over the years, I'm like the guy who trains the young people, and I find good workers and build them up, and many of them stay a good amount of time and add a ton of value, and thank all of them for the service that they've provided. And I wish, Sandia Labs is just so tough because it's difficult to sell to them, right? I can't put on my suit and tie and go over there and knock on all the doors. They're a closed entity, and they're looking for certain things, and we try to do our best to provide them the services that they're looking for.
Yeah. What are the biggest challenges that you have as a small business in your line of work? Obviously, it's employment is one. I'm just trying to think of, are there things that you would like to see happen to feel like you're more supported by New Mexico to grow manufacturing here?
Well, Ryan, unfortunately, this is the only place I've ever done business, so this is what I know. But certainly making it easier to access state money, federal money that's available through these employment programs, through research and development grants that might be available. And I would assume it's similar in many places, but if we were provided a liaison to help us work through the grant process, we're a small company. Yeah. I don't have somebody on my payroll that says, go write grants, work for the city, try to get this recreational dollars, try to get a grant from the federal government, try to access funds through Sandia. That they have a lot. They have a lot, but it can be challenging.
But just navigating, because Sandia has money to give to small businesses for contract work, but you got to find it and apply for it.
We're accessing some of that. We're accessing that money through the New Mexico Manufacturing Extension Partnership, MEP. And they're working with us on the lean manufacturing. They're doing a great job. We're really working hand in hand with them, and we're able to. The state puts in half, and Sandia puts in half, and I think it's about $40,000.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, and John, so Southwest Composite Works, you've been in New Mexico for 30 years, gone from Moriarty, moved through plants in Albuquerque. What's the future look like?
The future is bright. The future is bright. We're in a great market. The whole composite industry is still, potentially in its adolescence. So there's more adoption into lightweight materials, especially in electric vehicles, electric airplanes. Reducing, fuel emissions on airplanes requires lighter equipment. So I think Albuquerque's great. I mean, I think, is certainly, we can only go up.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. Cool.
So there's a lot of upside.
Yeah. Well, John, thanks a lot for coming on. I was excited to hear that Southwest Composite Works is in Albuquerque and making these kind of unique products being manufactured right here, and that I didn't even know about. And the reason that we got connected was you were at a Sandia a pitch competition that I was at last week that I covered for the Journal, and that also, so you go to these pitch contests. Are you there to learn? Are you there to try to be a potential investor or find a new customer? What kind of draws you to that community?
We certainly see some opportunity as being a product development company working with those entrepreneurs. Launching. Many of them have concepts, ideas, good, strong paper ideas, and they need to build their initial prototype. And that's where we come in. We really do more than the carbon, but the machine parts, and can help them out in many ways. The other area is I like to listen to the pitch, and some of
it's
them,
interesting.
Yeah, they get up there and they're selling, and I'm a salesman and just seeing what they're doing. And a few years ago, I went to one, and they had hired, one of the companies had hired a professional public speaker. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Super dynamic, had the thing down, did great. They won.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they won.
No, yeah, I've always enjoyed covering startups, people who want to just, take a risk and become an entrepreneur and take a shot at it, which is kind of what brought you to Albuquerque and you and your family.
Yeah, certainly taking the risk is a part of it, but it's about doing some good.
Yeah.
Certainly at the Sandia Boost event, as people are creating stuff for renewable energy and waste reclamation and things like that are really good. And same with me in Albuquerque. I'm here, I like it here, and I want to do my part to better Albuquerque as a manufacturing state. And that really requires me putting my foot forward and training the people and working with the people and hopefully getting other companies in Albuquerque to train their people as well and share the employees and grow.
Okay, great. Well, the guest was John Groth, and the company is Southwest Composite Works right here in Albuquerque. John, thanks a lot for coming on. Best of luck to you.
Great. Thank you.